Our special guest this week here on Handicappers Corner is popular radio host on the Team 1040, Bob Marjanovich. Thanks for being with us, Bob.
Thank you, gentlemen. Nice being here.
Good to have you here, Bob. First question I'll put to you is, I noticed you had a horse last year with Troy Taylor out of Dodge, who won with Mario on it, of course, and you have another one this year, 2-year-old named Prohibiting, who's in on Sunday. How did you get involved in horse racing?
Well, pretty short story. We're doing a remote one time out at the track, and Glenn Todd was out there and started talking to Glenn, and he kind of encouraged me to get involved in the horse racing industry, I guess, and got a horse last year named out of Dodge, which was something new for me. But man, what a treat. It was such a thrill. I'll tell you, like having been an athlete and a coach before, you kind of get those goosebumps. And I remember when out of Dodge's first race, I had those same goosebumps. Like I was all nervous. I mean, it's like my horse, he's racing. And the thing is about racing, it's such a neat experience. And that's, you know, probably the biggest thing is just being around the track, being around the horses, being around great people as well at Hastings. So it makes it a really enjoyable experience.
I know, it's nice that you did touch on the feeling, like that's your horse. At the, you know, coming down the stretch, you're in front. I mean, that's a neat feeling that when you can say to all your buddies and all the people you brought to the track, that's my horse.
It was pretty neat that first race because as Mario was on top, and we were probably about 4th or 5th place, typical Mario type run, holding the horse back. And when it was all said and done, we wound up winning by like a head.
Yeah.
So it was exhilarating to say the least. We didn't have as much success in the following races without a Dodge, but that very first race was so much fun.
I've noticed in the media, like all your colleagues on the Team 1040, they're having a blast with this, with horse racing, like being on the map right now with Mario Gutierrez. So I know it must get a little monotonous at times to always have to dissect the Canucks and their practices and everything, and the Lions, and it must be nice to break off the rails a little bit and cover horse racing.
It's refreshing. Honestly, it is. And you know, when you look at Mario and his story, it is so. I mean, it transcends horse racing. We're talking human interest, human drama. You're talking about a guy who came from next to nothing from Veracruz, Mexico. I mean, he does what he does at Hastings, and now he's on the verge of winning the Triple Crown. And through all of it, he's remained so humble and so down to earth, and so still Mario, so to speak, right? And I mean, you know, forget about horse racing. Just as a human interest story, Mario's story is tremendous. And you're right. I mean, you're tired of talking about Ryan Kessler. You're tired of talking about where Roberto Luongo is going to go. You're tired about talking about AV's future. So when you get into Mario, it's a lot. Like I said, it's refreshing. Yeah,
I know. You can tell a lot of the guys are having fun with it. B-Mac, I know he's not much into horse racing, but he loves it. And Donnie Taylor's having a blast with it. Sakaris Price, you know, as I said, all your colleagues are right on top of it.
And you know, the other thing too, guys, is I know with Matt Sakaris and Blake Price, both of them been out to the track. Yeah. And they both rave about the experiences that they have. I mean, Matt loves it. Blake came out there one time with his family, loved it. So every time they're coming to the track, they're having a great time. You know, Donnie's schedule a little different because he's got the young kids and all that. And, you know, but once you get out to the track and experience that environment, particularly on a day when there's a buzz, it's nice and sunny. You know, you might have about 7,000 people around. It's a great day.
It's tough to beat. How do you see, obviously with the exposure we're getting with Mario, and how do you see kind of the Mario mania pushing horse racing, especially locally, more into the spotlight?
Well,
the effects of that.
You know, when you look at horse racing, where it was maybe 30 or 40 years ago and where it is today, that gambling pie, which horse racing at that time might have had, I don't know, I'm just guessing, but maybe 90% of that gambling pie. Now you've got so many things cutting into that pie, whether it's online poker, whether it's, you know, on lottery, you name it, slot machines, casinos. I mean, there's so many different routes that you can go and get into gambling. And I think the one thing that really hurts horse racing is basically a form chart, like trying to read the daily form chart. I mean, it's difficult enough for me, and I've kind of got a little bit of a clue, but you know, for someone who doesn't know and is trying to get into it, I mean, it's like Greek. Yeah, it's overwhelming. But I think what horse racing has done, particularly here in Hastings with Raj Muti and the crew, is they've made it into an event. Right? I mean,
made a party.
Yeah, make it into a party. It's more than just the race. It's come out, enjoy the sunshine, enjoy the atmosphere, you know, have a couple of drinks, enjoy some rock music. I know last year they had a couple of big parties over on the one side. So it's the atmosphere, I think, that you really sell. And then the gambling, I think, comes secondary. People start to learn a little bit slowly but surely, and then they start spending more money on the handle.
Yeah, you got to get them there first.
Yeah.
Make it a good experience, and then, yeah, that'll come.
That's what they need, that positive experience, first time out, and then you can get some repeat customers. And maybe get a few people coming a couple times a month, and that's, you know, at least you're and telling their friends that this, hey, this is a good thing to do. This is fun.
And you know the interesting thing about the track, I don't know if you guys know, but how many young people do you see there? Like
Yeah.
people like in their early
Right
20s,
now.
30s, right?
Yeah, way more
you know,
than we did, yeah.
And I see like clumps of them, like it's a group, and we're not talking 2 or 3. It's like groups of 6, 10 people, 15 people all coming out to the track and enjoying the experience.
Yeah, it's almost like horse racing did skip a generation, because we either see the guys in the walkers with the canes
Yeah.
that are there, you know, every day, or we're just seem to have missed a generation. But now we're starting to get them, which is great news. So we have prohibiting in on Sunday.
Prohibiting it on Sunday, and I'm looking forward to seeing that horse run for the second time. But first time we're going to go at a distance here. The first time we went, what was it, 3.5 furlongs?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a little bit of a sprint. He's a big horse.
Yeah.
So it's going to take him a little while to get going. I think he's like one of those big, you know, wide receivers who's 6'2", 220. You're maybe not that effective running a 10-yard out, but man, you
Once
put
he
him on
gets
a
rolling.
fade.
I
Yeah.
think he'll get going. And the first time out experience is going to help, too.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to seeing him on Sunday.
At least this weekend, your favorite jock will be Fernando Perez.
Fernando Perez is
Will
my
be the
favorite
favorite
jockey
jock
this
this
weekend.
Until next weekend.
And then
We'll
we'll
see who's riding him after the next week. And of course, Mario, always our favorite jockey.
Well, thanks for joining us, Bob. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for stopping by the Derby Bar and Grill and joining us here on Handicappers Corner. You can listen to Bob every week, or Monday to Friday. He's on from 6 to 10, and also on Saturdays he's on the Team 1040 from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Once again, thanks, Bob. Good luck on the weekend.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks for
Good stuff.
stopping by.
All the
Bob,
best.
any predictions in the Belmont?
Come on, I'll have another.
I'll have another, baby.
Easy.
All right, Bob Marjanovich, our guest this week here on Handicappers Corner.
Bueno.
How's that?
Awesome.